So in today's video, we're going to be looking at one transfer that every Premier League team needs in order to try and improve going into the new season. Now, this may be a player that they have actually been linked with. It may just be completely my opinion. It could be a mixture of both. But what I do want to know is your guys' thoughts on this. Who do you support? Who do you think you need to sign in order to take that next step in the Premier League this season? So we're going to go through each club one by one single player. Alphabetical order, we start off with AFC Bournemouth. So they're back up in the Premier League now, and they've been a couple of years away, and they've had time to recuperate and everything like that. Now, we know that Bournemouth don't have massive finance, and that's a little bit of a problem on their part in terms of getting people in. Another one is that they aren't the biggest pull, right? In terms of club size, in terms of location, they don't really benefit from anything like that. That even, for example, Fulham, who are coming up, are a London-based club. That's huge for certain players. And so it's tricky, this one. So I'm going to go with a championship player that may be able to make the step up. And I'm going to go with Middlesbrough's, Tavernier for the right-hand side for them to improve going forward. Now, he could slot in at right wing-back, but right mid, right wing is where you would most likely see him playing. And it feels like a player that could be on the level of someone that Bournemouth could pick up ahead of this season. Next up, we have Arsenal. Now, this is a really interesting one because they're getting Saliba back from Marseille, his loan. And he has basically come out and said, yeah, I'm staying this time. I'm going to show you how good I am. Now, that's really, really good for Arsenal fans to hear because otherwise they may have had to go and look for another centre-back had they sold him. Now, they're also looking for a midfielder. Tielemans of Leicester is potentially going to be leaving to go there. Basuma has been linked a lot as well. However, the main thing that I think Arsenal need is a striker. Gabriel Jesus has previously come out and said that he is open to leaving because he feels like he's not the main man there anymore. Sort of changed tune a little bit after absolutely smashing it, scoring a load of goals towards the end of the season. But it feels like he is going to be moving on. Somewhere in the region of 50 mil has been touted as the fee for him. And after getting rid of Aubameyang previously and then getting rid of Lacazette back to Lyon, they've basically got Nketiah. Now, there are other players, Saka, Martinelli, Ødegaard, Smith Rowe, really exciting, but that out-and-out striker seems to be what they're lacking. So that's why I say Gabi Jesus. Then we have Aston Villa. Now, this is a tricky one, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. They've already done amazing business. The transfer window is only just open, but they've already smashed it. They've got Coutinho, they've got Kamara from the French league, and they've also got Diego Carlos. So they don't really need that much more. They just need Gerrard to try and gel all of the team together and get some good chemistry between the players, which is why I've gone with Rory Wilson. He's a youngster from Rangers, spent a little bit of time with Gerrard, absolutely smashed it for their younger setup. He's like 16, and it could just be one of those players that ends up being an absolute steal and becomes a player that stays there for the next 5 years, something like that, and just gets better and better and better. So that is why I've gone with him. Let's move on. Brentford up next. Christian Eriksen. Simple as that. Do everything that they can to try and get him to stay. Now, I know he has offers from elsewhere, but he is definitely going to hear Brentford out as to what they have to say and what they have to offer. That's my shout. I feel like they have to do whatever they can to try and get him to stay because he was so good when he came in for them. So, Eriksen. Brighton's also a tricky one because I still don't know their finances, what they're able to bring in and stuff like that. They've had some decent signings in recent years. Cucurella was a great buy, really, really good. And now they are linked with Enkiso. So, maybe that's the answer to this question. It feels like they just need to be better going forward at converting chances. That seems to be the one thing that you'd say with Brighton. It'd be incredible if they could pick up someone like a Danny Ings or whatever, but I just don't know if they have the pull to make that kind of thing happen. So I'm intrigued to see what you guys think. What would Brighton's level of pull be for a striker if they were taking one from a decent club, Premier League or something like that? Let me know. Big one, Chelsea. Koundé. That's my shout. Rudiger's going, or has gone. Christensen has gone. Aspi might leave. Marcus Alonso might leave. Their defence is getting obliterated. Get in a slightly younger player that is very agile, good on the ball, great defensively, and has shown it not just in La Liga, but in higher European competitions as well for Sevilla. The fee's going to be quite high for this one. However, the thing is, everybody knows right now that Chelsea need a good centre-back, and so it's going to be hard for them to get a good one at a good price. So I think they might just go for it, basically. Go for Koundé, bring him in, and try and get that defence shored up. Because at the start of the season, it was looking good. Then it really, really wavered. So that's my shout. Palace is going to be the quickest one of the lot. Try and get Conor Gallagher from a loan to a permanent. There you go, Patrick. Whoever is above you that does the transfers, that's his job. Because he seemed to really fit the system and he seemed to enjoy his time there as well. Everton. Now, Everton are a big club, but they've just gone through a really, really rocky patch. Now, they have come out the other side of it, still a Premier League team, which is obviously the main thing. But again, what level of pull do they have? There are big rumours about Richarlison leaving. So would they go for a winger to replace him? Would they go for an out-and-out striker to replace him? Because he's played a little bit of everywhere over the years since he's been there. Gordon's looking decent. Gray had a good start to the year. DCL was injured. It's tricky. Maybe they need a creative midfielder. Maybe Eriksen would be a great shout for them or someone of that ilk. But it's really, really hard. So I'm just going to go for an out there shout. I'm going with Otavio. Winger for Porto. Very good. Very good. And if any Premier League team got him, he'd probably be a very exciting player to have in the league. So let's give Everton a bit of credit and say that maybe they could get him. Fulham next. Now, this one, I found this really hard because the thing is, they can smash the Championship, but then just absolutely flop in the Prem. Even Mitrovic scoring 40 goals or whatever in Championship. He might score 4 this year. Last time they came up, they spent about 100 mil, went straight back down. Didn't really make a difference. So it's tricky. They're linked with a lot of left backs, so I'm going to go with one of those. Sinisu, another Porto player. I don't know what else to choose. Leeds. I'm going to go with Minamino. And a couple of reasons here. Rafinha might leave. Lots of links to Barcelona. Minamino wouldn't be that expensive. And he's already played under March previously at Leipzig. So could really, really work out for him there because he was a good player there. Hence why Liverpool end up getting him in the end. So yeah, I'm interested to see if they would pursue this kind of one because I'd really like to see Minamino get a go at a club where he is starting week in, week out in the Prem. So that's going to be my shout. Leicester. Now, I could spend a long time talking about what we need to get rid of, but I'm going to make this short and sweet. We still have not replaced Riyad Mahrez since he left. We've needed a right winger. We've tried out a couple on loan. Didn't really work out. Lookman has played on the right, but he's more of a left winger, or he's better on the left, but he's okay on the right. But I feel like ideally get Lookman, and then him and Barnes battle it out. Whoever's playing better starts. And then on the right, go and get a proper one. Madueke, big nonny from the Eredivisie. We have been, from top tier sources, we've been very interested in him. And he had a bit of an injury last season, and so he didn't play anywhere near as much. Will that have cut his price down a bit? Maybe. So maybe we could get him cut price. We'll have to wait and see. Liverpool now, and as it stands, at the exact moment I'm recording this, it's not official yet. So I can still say it, which makes this video much easier to do for Liverpool. They need a striker, Darwin Nunez. At the time that this gets uploaded, it may be official, but as of right now, it isn't. So that's my choice. Man City. Now, tricky. The answer to this question was Haaland. or Kane or someone like that. They've got Haaland. It's now official. This morning, it was official. So I can't do the same thing that I've done with Mr. Darwin. So even though that was clearly what they need, maybe they do something with defence. Maybe they move Cancelo back to the right and they go with someone as awesome as Cucurella. It would cost a lot. Apparently like 40 or 50 mil is what it would cost to get him. But he's very good and he'd probably suit a Pep style of play very well. So I'm going to go with him. Man United are linked with De Jong, Timber, and basically anyone that Erik ten Hag has previously managed, they're linked with right now. However, none of those are my answer to this question. They still need a defensive mid and one that is good on the ball. Declan Rice. That's the answer. Whether they could afford it or not is a different question, but that is who they would... Oh my goodness, the difference that it would make to Man U if they had a player of that quality in the team... monumental. Newcastle, really, really hard one here. What level of pool do they have? Yes, they have money. But outside of that, what draws you to Newcastle rather than a different Premier League team? Obviously, you've got the project and the plans going forward, but it's hard to know exactly how well they'll go. So I'm going to go with an optimistic one for them because they basically need to now start to upgrade most of their squad from low-level Prem to pushing to Europe-level players. And a player that is sort of getting towards the end of his contract, he'd be available for about 40 mil. Good mates with Bruno, who has settled in well there towards the end of the season. Lucas Paqueta, baller. Absolute baller. Would be an incredible signing. For the sake of the Prem, I hope he comes because I'd really like to see more of him play. And so, yeah, Lucas Paqueta. Forest. Tricky. Jed Spence, keep hold of him, maybe. If not, because it looks like he might just be going straight to Spurs. Nico Williams is an option as well. And so, I know that's kind of two names, but we have no idea on whether they'll even have the capability of keeping hold of him. And so I'm going to assume that they can't. And I'm going to go with Nico Williams. Southampton. Just bring back Danny Ings. Try and get Brozier, maybe. But it's probably very unlikely. So bring back Danny Ings, right? Villa are doing okay. There are rumours that he is available to leave. Bring him back. He smashed it at Southampton. He was absolutely incredible. Spurs. Now, they are massively linked with Richarlison right now. I don't think that's what they need. They have Son, they have Kane, they have Kulusevski. Unless you're willing to spend 50, 60 mil on a bench player, then I don't get it. I simply do not get it. And I don't feel like I know that they've got more and more money now, but that just feels like it's way too high. So, I'm going to go with someone that would actually improve the starting 11. Perisic has already come from Inter. Go for Bastoni. He's already played under Conte. He would fit the system very well. He's a very good centre-back. That would be an improvement. So, Bastoni. We have two more. West Ham, tricky one. Again, they could really do with a striker, but I don't know what kind of level of player they would be going for. They've been burnt in the past by going abroad. People like Haller not working out at all, even though he's worked out of the club previous to them and after. During, just no. So, I'm going to make it a really simple one. Areola. He was on loan. Get him permanently. Could be a really, really good goalkeeper for them. Did well when he filled in. And Fabianski isn't getting any younger. I'll go with him. And then the last one we're going for is Wolves. Now, obviously, they're linked with every Portuguese player under the sun. And so I'm going to go with one of those. And I'm going to go with Palhinha. Very, very good player. Linked with Leicester last summer, I believe it was. And we did not end up going for him. But would be a very, very good midfield signing, especially if they end up losing someone like Neves, Coutinho, etc. So there we have it. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section down below. But if you did enjoy it, thumb it up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.